Hi, good morning. This is Amy Rafeka, and I am at Atlanta Wills and Trust Law Group, and we are live on Facebook this morning for our series Wills on Wednesday. This is episode 3, and today we're going to talk about a question that I am asked quite a bit, and even more recently, I've been asked this almost consistently with most people I meet who find out that I do wills and trusts. And that is, what is a trust? And then, do I need a trust? Is usually the next question. So, as I mentioned in the written accompaniment to this live video, I really see this as a few parts. And first, I want to say that I'm going to be happy to share what is a trust with you and how I view trusts in the best way to explain a trust. But really what it comes down to is two things that you should ask yourself besides really what is a trust. And those two questions are, what do I want an estate plan to do for me during my lifetime and after I pass away? That's really the first question that you should ask yourself, and anyone who may be helping you put together your estate plan. That's the first question that they should be asking you is, what are your goals? What do you want to see happen to your children? What do you want to see have happen to your things? What do you want to see have happen to your home? And what do you want to see have happen to your money? So really, what is it that you would like to see? Would you like to see your children living in the same quality of life? Would you like to see them living in the same community that they live in? Would you like your significant other to stay in the home that you share? Would you like your adult children to take care of you during your lifetime? Would you like to live with your adult children? Would you definitely not like to live with your adult children as you age? You need to ask yourself, where do I see myself? What do I see happening during my lifetime and after I pass away? And that's really the precursor question, the initial question you should ask when you're approaching any estate plan. And then the second question has to do with, does a will-based estate plan accomplish this for me, or does a trust-based estate plan accomplish this for me? And today we're going to talk about whether or not a trust-based estate plan accomplishes what you would like to see happen during your lifetime and after you pass away, with all of the things that I just mentioned. What are your hopes? What are your goals? What would you like to see have happen? So a trust is what I refer to a trust as a box. It's a box that you can build during your lifetime, or you can have the box built after you pass away. And trusts the box that you build, the trust, can be built almost however you like for it to be built. So it can have a really tight lid on it. It can really not have much of a lid on your box. You can paint it certain colors so it does certain things for you. Really, a trust can do almost anything for you that you can do for yourself, except illegal things, which you can't do either. So I always liken trusts to boxes, and they're a lot like people in the sense that they can be very unique and do just about anything that you would like for them to accomplish. A few things that a trust can do, unlike a will, and again, you can build a trust during your lifetime, or you can ask that a trust be built after you pass away. So a few things that a trust can do, whether you build it after you pass away or during your lifetime, is a trust can hold money for children beyond the age of 18. So under a will, traditionally, children in the state of Georgia will inherit at 18 years old. And somebody would have to watch over the money in the meantime until they turn 18, whether that someone is a spouse, whether that someone is someone you choose or a court chooses. At 18, a child would receive the money that you would leave them, the things that you would leave them. However, a trust, you can actually extend that out. You can say they can receive certain amount of monies when they turn 18 directly. Maybe you can do that annually. Maybe you can make sure that, you know, an education is paid for, or you can say they receive no monies whatsoever until they turn a certain age. And you can put a lot of stipulations on when they receive the money and what they can receive the money for. Again, as long as it's legal, you can more or less put a stipulation in a trust. And so that's a huge difference between a will and a trust. So imagine the trust is a box, and you say, my child can only gain access to what I put in the box if they turn 25, if they graduate from college. They can use the money to pay for college, but they can't use the money to pay for a $1,000 pair of sneakers, which is what I maybe suspect that my son would maybe want to do it, use the money for. So that's a huge difference between a will and a trust. So if you want your child to receive an education, again, going back to the first question, if education is really critically important to you, and you think that your children, if they inherited, say, $500,000 or $750,000 from you at the age of 18, if you think they would forego their education and maybe make different life choices if you were not there, then a trust might be a really good alternative for you, a really good option to accomplish your goals. If entrepreneurship is really important to you, then you can put that in there. But trusts, you can use lots of stipulations on, and a will, pretty much at 18, they're going to receive the money. Another big difference with the trust is that it can do some protection of the monies for that you leave your children or you leave your spouse against outsiders. So people cannot take advantage of your child who may be grieving and then use the money for their own purposes versus for your child's purposes. Same with the spouse. If you have a spouse that perhaps is susceptible to certain family members and you are concerned that they would be taken advantage of, you can put money in a trust, and you can have someone help you manage that for their benefit. So a trust, again, is a good way to safekeep things, whether that thing is a house, whether that thing is an investment account, and whether that thing is just cash monies for someone that you love if you cannot be there. Also, a trust, unlike a will-based estate plan, you can do a lot of things to protect yourself in a trust, such as take money out of, strictly out of something that only you have access to, and provide access to someone else whom you trust, who can maybe take care of you if you, during the aging process, can no longer manage your finances. They call this disability or incapacity. So these are two really strong things that if you have concerns about safekeeping things, whether that thing is money or property, a trust might be a really great option. But automatically, a trust should not be something that you go to. It is definitely a personal decision, and you should walk through that decision with your attorney, with your family, and it really boils down to, what are your goals? What would you like to see happen during your lifetime? And what are your goals that you would like to see happen after you pass away? And does a will-based estate plan get you there, or does a trust-based estate plan get you there? And again, I liken it to, if a trust-based estate plan is where you're going to achieve most of your goals, you don't necessarily need to know every single detail about how that trust will accomplish it for you. I liken it to your car engine. We don't know how our car engine works. I have no clue. Well, I have some clue, but just barely, about how my car engine gets me to work every day, gets my children to work, school every day, runs my errands on the weekends with me. But I do know that if built correctly, with the right features that I want, then my trust or my engine will get me from point A to point B successfully and safely. And so that's what I liken a trust to. It's that box that you build that will get you from point A to point B safely and successfully. So if you have more questions about what a trust is, feel free to reach out to Atlanta Wills and Trusts. If you want to comment below about the process of how to walk through what your estate planning goals are, leave a comment or reach out to us at team, T-E-A-M, at refecalaw, refecalaw.com, and we'll send you a goals planning worksheet that we give to all of our potential new clients so that they can begin this process of what they want their estate plan to do for them during their lifetime and after they pass away. Thank you for joining me, episode 3, Wills on Wednesday. This is Amy Refecca. Have a beautiful day.